This is a 3-4-5 race in Reno, the Air Center Crit. We all started back away from the start line because it was shady. It was very hot. It was well into the 90s. I've raced this course more than any other course I've raced in Reno. It's our local crit course. Not unlikely to get national champions racing with you in a field of 12, but this time we had a medium-sized group, 3-4-5.
Yeah, and it was a USAC official race, so there's points on the line, which is why we were trying to get you some upgrade points, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and so it's just the plain four-corner crit. I think we've covered this one a lot, but 2 real bends, 2 long straights. It's usually a little windy. This stretch is usually a little headwindier, and the start-finish stretch is usually a cross-tail.
But on this race, actually, this day, the start-finish was a headwind, which is going to be important.
Yeah, and there's about, I don't know, 25 people in this one.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty mellow for the first half, except for there goes Tucker.
Yeah, producer Tucker just like, I'm going to rail the gutter. Okay, you want to move forward?
Yeah, let's go to 12 and a half minutes in, and that's when the race starts heating up a little bit. So up to this point, you've been really good job of just hanging out, staying sheltered, and watching everybody else do things. There's been some attacks, but everybody else is shutting everything down, and everybody seems pretty motivated. I think in a race like this, people all want to win, right? Like more so.
Yeah, there's not many USAC points in Reno. You have to usually drive, I don't know, 5 to 8 hours round trip. So when there is a race in Reno, everyone wants points.
Everybody wants points. So this is where some of the attacks have been flying, and you haven't done anything up to this point, which has been pretty awesome. You've done a good job of staying coasting past people and staying on the pedals, but I think you decide to see what it's like out there in the wind.
Yeah, they slowed down. They slowed down, so I was like, well, I want to cause an acceleration in the field so everyone gets a little bit tired, because we really haven't done any work.
And you have a couple of people who are directly under your wheel. They've been waiting for you to do this, like the first 15 minutes of the race. That wasn't a super long attack, but it's kind of enough to see how many people are going to come with you.
Yeah, I just elbowed the guy through early because I wasn't doing a super long attack, so he was still pretty fresh too. But obviously, everyone followed.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it is. It's only 12 minutes into the race, but more of these attacks start happening and the race gets a little spicier. Let's go to 17 minutes in. So now that the race has been a little more heated, people are actually strung out. It's not that big group, and you've been kind of roving the front and staying on top of these little moves a little better.
They're coasting now.
And so, of course, you gotta punish them, right?
I know. Pete, you tell me this like every day at work.
So, and the same guys are on your wheel again, but this time it's a real attack. As you can see, you're putting down the power. It's on this back straight.
35.
And this is where a lot of moves happen on this course. This straight really lends itself to attacking. People don't want to work into this bend, and the start-finish straight is hard, like you said today. So you really want the gap going into that.
Yeah.
And so you keep the power down, you go all the way through the corner, which I think is perfect. If you flick someone through into a corner like this, you're pretty much robbing your group of a little speed. I think this was a preem lap, right?
I don't remember.
I can tell by the way people are sprinting for it. But the pressure's on, and Mike on your wheel ends up coming by you and going for the preem.
Yeah, it looks like it was a preem lap because he was sprinting. But we have a pretty good gap. There's 2 Audi guys with us. I think Mike just got tired out by doing that.
And you attack through the preem, which is something we try to get you to do, or try to get everybody to do all the time. Is everybody's tired, everybody committed for one point in the race, or the prize, or the cash, or whatever, and you attack through it, which is perfect, right?
Here's the one rider up the road who I joined too.
And so now that the race has been strung out for a handful of minutes, there was a preem. It's pretty much the perfect time to get everybody rolling. And you do a good job of encouraging everybody to start working. You guys know you have the gap, and it only takes a little bit more work now because most of the work's already been done to establish this break.
Yeah.
I think everybody sort of comes back together, but let's scoot up to 24:30 in. So what kind of happened there is a couple guys from the field ended up joining your group, and so now this is the real breakaway. and a
Oh
couple.
yeah, we did stick, didn't we?
Yeah, it kind of fell apart for a little bit, and then a couple people fell out of the break, and a couple people joined the break. It was kind of there's a little wiggle room there, but this is the break that gets established for the day. And as you can see, everybody's pulling. I don't know. It looked pretty unruly to me watching the video. How did it feel while you were in there?
It was a while ago, but I remember it feeling easy.
Yeah.
And I just kept thinking, I'm like, looking back and knowing the riders in the race, I was like, okay, there are some fast people with us. I don't think there's too many fast people that at least don't have teammates in the main field.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking I shouldn't push too hard on these pulls, but I still want to keep the speed up.
Yeah, and you did a really good job of smoothing out all your pulls. I think over and over you kept doing the right things in this race, which was awesome.
I listened to you, Pete.
So as you can see, you start getting behind the riders as they pull. A lot of people are giving up that space right at the beginning and then having to drift all the way to the back and then reaccelerate. Every time someone pulls through on you, you end up staying right on them, and so you're getting that little bit more of a shelter, and you're in the better position over and over and over. Yeah. And so over a 15-minute breakaway, that makes a huge difference in the way you feel.
Yeah.
So as you can see now, the guy slots back in, so you give up that spot. You know, you don't want to waste any energy sitting around there.
Why did he slot in so early?
I don't know. Some people like being near the front. Maybe he's worried about something or wants to attack, or I don't know. But you played it exactly right, where you go back to the back of the group. You get to assess what's happening, and now you get to roll through again, get the shelter the whole time.
Yeah.
So let's go up to 30 minutes in. So now that you said the race felt a little easy to you, I can kind of understand why you were attacking now. Everybody fans out. They're still working, though, so that's why I was kind of curious if you thought nobody was working hard enough, or you just wanted to shake a couple of people out of the group.
I wanted to shake people out of the group. It was really there's a tailwind section, so even though we're going fast, I thought too, attacking into a tailwind, they were going to have to do some work.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't sure if anyone was going to be able to come with me or a couple people, but
yeah,
definitely one guy, Tim Bright, he was given the fake, like acting like he was really tired,
yep,
although being able to respond to all the attacks.
Yep.
I tried to talk to him, and he was like shaking his head like he couldn't do it. And I knew he was faking.
Playing the game.
I knew he was playing. And I knew in a previous race, I knew where he'd launch from the third corner. So I just kept thinking in my brain, like, Tim's going to launch from the third corner. He's just waiting for that because he's in a great position to get some points.
Exactly. And there's only 8 minutes left in the race, or 9 minutes left in the race. So you have to start figuring out, you don't want to drag everybody to the finish, right?
No. And the other thing is, I realize some of these local racers, they watch these videos, and I race with them a lot. They know I'm going to do a long bomb on the last lap. Mm-hmm. So I thought, well, I'm either going to go really long or I'm going to sprint.
Yeah.
And if this didn't stick, I was like, I'm just going to sprint. I got to change it up. If I do the same thing every time, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. So yeah, you did a good job. You made the attack. You weren't going super hard, but you got the gap, and then you worked that pace. So you were staying fast, not working super hard, and they catch you in about a lap. But you know, the point is that you stirred the pot again, and now people will be thinking about finishing the race, and there's producer Tucker pulling you back.
Yeah. Yeah, he's my employee, and he's pulling me back. Not sure why that happened. We'll have a one-on-one later, Tucker. He's in the room.
So one of the things I kept noticing is Mike, the guy in your rear view cam, is on your wheel like this whole entire race. He's pretty much just waiting for you to do your plan.
And he has a very similar profile to me, where he doesn't have a lot of snap, but he's got a big diesel engine.
Yep. And so that's a good way to think about being in a group like this. Is you want to be on someone's wheel who has similar strengths to yours. So you don't want to be on someone super poppy if you can't really sprint, and if you're a dieseler, be on someone else so that they're going to respond to things the same way you're going to respond to things.
Yeah.
Let's go up to 37 minutes in. So we're into the last couple laps of the race. I think 2.5 laps to go. And what ends up happening is the last few minutes have been super slow.
So slow.
So slow. So what that really does is it really only makes one way for the race to finish, and it has to finish really hard with less than a lap to go, really less than half a lap, because with a full lap to go, you can always cover and people will always be willing to work. So that the really easy part made your decision making for the way to finish the race easier.
Yeah.
So we've got some riders. See, it's these fake attacks at the end, and everybody's coasting and fanning out.
I thought about attacking right here.
And it's close, right?
Yeah, I wasn't sure, but I actually thought, it's funny, I said, I want to get a sprint in this video. I was thinking of the video because I don't want to win the same way every time.
Yep. So as you can see, everybody's just fanning along. There's a couple people starting to work, but they're not going hard, right?
Yeah, it's an attack off the front.
Yeah, and you're only going 22 miles an hour. So the idea being, I think you make the right call at this point. You make everybody else get in front of you. It's up to you. It's a lap and a half to go. You want to be able to see what everybody is going to do and how they're going to attack this last lap.
So right here, I knew that guy was on my wheel the whole time, and I did the hand thing. I'm like, hey, we're just going to get tailed off, and then I'm going to attack you as hard as I can. Yep. But I don't know. I'll kill us both.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty much
down with the ship. You
yeah,
know?
Exactly. Mutual assured destruction.
Yeah.
And then I get to be on his wheel now, which is good.
Exactly. And that's exactly the right move, especially in a small breakaway like this. Nobody is going to do this crazy last lap and a half. It's going to be a lot of stuttered start and stops. And so you want to be last wheel so you can figure out exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
So what's crazy to me is Audi has two teammates here, and they're both sitting on the side of the,
I know they could have done some teamwork here, but they didn't. I think, again, so Mike Dunn is a sprinter, and Tim wants to do where he's won the A race in Reno on the third lap, or in the third corner. So I think they both want to sit in.
Gotcha. So luckily there's enough people to turn up the pace. I think this is where Tucker takes over on the front. So he finally speeds it up. But we're at 1 lap to go right now, and since the race has been so easy, I think you can only win if you start your attack after the last corner, because it's been so easy and everybody's going to cover you. This is where Mike attacks, and I think he went way too wide, and I would have attacked right here into the headwind or into this windy section rather than before the corner. But you jump on his wheel, he gives you a sweet lead out.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a gap for a second, but he did go really wide.
Really wide, and if he just would have waited a handful of seconds, I think this move would have been way more effective.
You can see Mike down in the rear mirror. He's tightening his shoe.
He's not
coasting.
that hard.
Yeah.
If you could tighten your shoe. And so Mike is just head down, and I don't think this is when he realizes what's going on. And everybody is just about to come back to you, which is good, which means nobody can kind of jump you right at this moment.
Yeah.
But now that a couple seconds have passed, you can see Tim go in your rear cam, and you catch him, which is perfect timing.
Yeah, I was expecting it. That's his spot.
That's the spot. So you knew it was going to happen. You take this inside line.
He goes so wide.
And he goes so wide.
And it really helps me as I get to save a lot of distance and a lot of energy.
And even this much of a gap is still helpful to you. You can tell that you're closing in on him and making it happen.
And it's a headwind.
So right as he stands up to sprint, you hit it preemptively. So you get to make the choice of when the sprint starts. And look at that.
Bam.
Just dust everybody.
I know. So Mike Dunn did San Rafael with the last video we did. This is before San Rafael. He sprinted, I think, for second or first in his age group. Yeah. But he was like third overall with 35 plus.
Yeah.
Frustrating.
Yeah,
I haven't talked about San Rafael for like the next 2 years. We'll put a link up to watch my misery.
That was a nice job. You did a bunch of things right, all in order, and it works, right? If you make a bunch of right decisions, it's just awesome.
Cool. Sorry. This doesn't. I don't know what to say. Usually, I don't think I've ever done it right before. Thanks for the kind words, Pete.
Yeah, for sure. Nice job.
Thank you. I'm Nate.
And I'm Pete.
And if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up.
If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down.
If you want to see more of these videos, make sure you subscribe. And if you want to become a faster cyclist, check out TrainerRoad.com. Thumb wrestle. 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare thumb war.
Yours is so long.
That's what...